Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Broadcast.gg Scrim Nights. I am your host, Kenobi, and I am joined today by the lovable combo of Panda and Elite. How are you guys doing tonight?
I am great, thank you.
Doing fantastic, my man, as always.
Yeah, as always, and we got some good action coming on here. We have Awaken Militia versus the Plat Patrol, a very ominous name for those Plat players. So, Elite, why don't you talk to me a little bit about Awaken Militia?
All right, well, on the side of Awaken Militia, this team has an average SR of about 4K, so very good team. The D Fang is actually, his name is D Fang. He's a support player, but he's going to be going by Hoi 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 is what you will see in game. And then he's a support player, likes to play a lot of Lucio. And Mark Nutkoa is the other support player, likes to play a lot of Zenyatta. So those are the two supports back in the back lines. And then we have 20 and Praise the Sun, who is also the team captain. Took me a minute to find that they're on that list. 20 and Praise the Sun are the DPS players, Genji and Hanzo. Of course, Hanzo very popular right now. Those are what those two guys like to run. As you can see right there, Praise the Sun with the Hanzo. Aloof and Jor are two big tank players up in the front on the Reinhardt and the Zarya. This team's been together for about 2 months. That's a pretty good amount of time in the world of Overwatch. So I would expect some good communication and some good synergy and just some good experience all around as a team for these guys. Their favorite team composition to run is actually Dive, which of course is not quite as strong or popular as it was about 3 weeks ago, really. It was very strong for a long time, but now, as you see, Reinhardt and Zarya, two very strong heroes right now. Their favorite game mode, or their favorite game map, is Horizon Lunar Colony. They like to play a lot of hybrid, and their least favorite would be Anubis, 2CP, and all that. They don't, not a big fan of King of the Hill either. So that is what we can be expecting from the side of Awaken Militia. And like I said, D Fang over there on the Lucio, he'll be going by Hoi 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 in game.
Yeah, definitely. And Horizon Lunar Colony, not one that you see too often being on the list of favorites. That's usually a least favorite for most of these teams. But, going to the other side, Panda, why don't you tell me a bit about Plat Patrol?
Well, Plat Patrol themselves, they are not Plat themselves. Maybe on a patrol, we have yet to see. But themselves, they do average around 4K as well. They are led by Kinsu, and Kinsu is a coach off the side here, led on the charge. We'll start with the front line of Jordan Fire, and you're going to have the frontline specialist preferring to play Reinhardt as well, and that is very nice to have going into this current meta as Brigitte is sliding her way into most compositions. We don't know if it's going to stick thus far, but it's pretty prevalent here today. Sedek prefers to play Zarya as well on the side of Reinhardt with Jordan Fire. Cole Lon is going to be in the back line. The Slambulance with the Moira. Caro with Lucio. Willy Boy prefers to play Doomfist. Not the most average hero in a dive or a deathball composition, but hey, every Doomfist has his day. And then you're going to have Variant as well on the side, preferring to play McCree. Always a nice pocket DPS to have when you have a nice tricky Tracer going in the back line, or nice Genji, or it really shuts down a EMP as well. We know a lot of DPS players these days prefer to play Sombra more often than not. They have been together for about 6 months or so, and they do prefer to play the 3 support Zarya solo DPS meta. So as a team that's coming in here, named with the patrol in their name, Kenobi, I'm interested to see how they swap into a Brigitte composition.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I think Elite mentioned before that the Awaken Militia likes to run Dive, and up against this, triple support, double tank, and single DPS combo, Panda. How do you think that matchup's going to fare out?
Well, it all depends on the situation. Even in Open Division, we've seen how these Brigitte compositions, because she's live in the Open Division map pool, how easy it is that Dive can pick apart when that Zenyatta or that Lucio or even a Moira really, or a DPS car, any squishy for that matter, is out of position. They can be dove. It can still be prevalent.
Yeah, and speaking of these new combos, and Brigitte is new, and Hanzo is now live Elite. So from what you've seen so far with this new Hanzo, how do you think he fits into the meta so far? Do you think he's just like one of those champions that's just really, really good and should be played almost every map?
You're muted, Elite.
You're muted.
It's because I was typing, but yes, and I didn't want you guys to hear the clicking. But anyway, yes, I agree that I think that Hanzo is a hero that is very strong, and so strong that it's just kind of going to be exclusively played. So that's my thoughts are that Hanzo, yes, is a hero that you'll see a lot of in pretty much any format just because he's so strong. And it was over on the side of Awaken Militia. Praise the Sun, who is the team captain of Awaken Militia, prefers to play Hanzo. That's his preferred hero. Although in this very first game, he's actually going to come out on Tracer.
Yeah, that's right. We're over here on Oasis. Quick to the action. It is off the Analyst desk here. Thank you, Kenobi, by the way, for that. Praise the Sun, like you said, prefers to play the Hanzo, but in this dive composition behind Aloof Andro on Winston, they're looking for the dive potential with the Tracer. Praise the Sun is a very capable Tracer player as well.
Yeah, and 20 coming out on this Pharah, so we're going to see this Pharmacy coming out from Awakened Militia, and we see Praise the Sun coming out and getting that first pick and another one as well. Praise the Sun off to a hot start. And that's going to open up the point for Awakened Militia to take this one here as round one gets underway. So Awakened Militia will take control of this point and push the side of Plat Patrol off of it, and they're off to a good start here in round one as they take this point. 20 and Praise the Sun already 90% of their ultimates built up.
Absolutely, and with all of those ultimates already in tow, Aloof needing a little bit of healing, he will make it back to Hue just in time and give that juicy charge. Oh, but Praise the Sun gets picked off. Aimbot swapping and sticking true to the Hanzo this time is going to find a nice pot shot, and that's an opening right there, but 20 with the barrage elite.
Yeah, it's the big Hanzo play that we've been talking about, but 20 does come out with that rocket barrage, and that pretty much evens this one all back up. So despite those first couple picks that were able to come out from the side of Plat Patrol, 20 comes in with that big rocket barrage and pretty much evens this one back up. Neither team with a big advantage. Here comes the pulse bomb out from Praise the Sun, not able to catch anyone with it. Now wants to put all this focus up here on the Cynic, but Cynic's going to bring out this Graviton Surge, and Cynic will get taken out, but not before he's able to set up Aimbot Banker to pick up some kills.
Oh, that's a nice shatter. Just go ahead and confirm the Diva Mech and the point itself. Oh, you got to have 20 just fly back in here, but you can see how City Center is played out so methodically. 64% now as the stall comes in for Aloof off of the Primal Rage, and that's really smart of him. 66% in tow throughout that entire team fight. Considering that Plat Patrol will have control of their point right now, they had to invest every single ultimate that they were gaining as if they were cooldowns themselves, so they won't have a Graviton Surge from Scenic to combo along with Aimbot's upcoming Dragon Strike, but it might not matter considering that they will have Brigette's rally, and if they play together and they really stop this dive before it even happens, this can really be impactful.
Yeah, and the rally's going to come out from Willy Boy to set up Plat Patrol here on this defensive fight. And Aimbot Baker, I thought he might have got knocked off there, but was able to stay on. He's been playing very well here in this first round, and we talked about Hanzo playing how strong he was. 20 comes out with that rocket barrage, not able to get anyone with it, though. That's a big ultimate gone from the side of Awakened Militia. This one's pretty much just 1-for-1 right now as you hear the big Dragon Strike's going to come across. Not really able to get anyone with it, though. Jordan Fire is able to get the D-Mech and lock up that kill there. And as this one's all continuing on, still no team with a big advantage, and through all this, the point is still filling up for the side of Plat Patrol.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And you can tell how quickly that was able to swap back into the favor. It was almost as if we were back to square one. It was Praise the Sun coming up big with a couple keen picks, but the tanks were still standing too strong. Kolun on the Ana swap, you can see how comfortable the support player is in particular, making the Grandma Juice come out on City Center. Control, for that matter, Elite, not a place where you see the sniping healing goddess of Ana, but it's working thus far as they have Storm Hanzo 2.0, and Scenic will be nearing this Graviton Surge as they're inching in here, but the Earthshatter's a fantastic start to this fight if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, right there was the Earthshot. It's a great way to start this fight. We see that the DPS of Awakened Militia are able to come in and get a couple kills, and this looks like it's going to go in their favor, actually. Praise the Sun putting the focus on the Jordan Fire here. Willy Boy is gone. It's only Jordan Fire here now. There's the Pulse Bomb to lock up that kill. Good play from Praise the Sun. Great fight from Awakened Militia. They will take this point back for themselves. Here's a replay of Praise in that last fight.
And you can see just whittling down the Ana, waiting for the right moment to strike with the Pulse Bomb. Even though the burst damage is down to 300 from 400, if the damage is still there, you can still get the follow-up to ensue afterwards. And speaking of ensuing, we're going to have another rally, but it's 20's Fair Barrage just to try to eat it, but a wonderful place Transcendence by Karo to stuff that one out of the sky.
So nothing for 20 there, and Aloof in here with the Primal Rage, able to pin down Cole and lock that kill. Jumping around, he wants to get this Zenyatta now, trying to focus down Karo. He's right up. Car taken out very low and will get taken now. And the Earthshatter is going to come out, though, from Jordan Fire. This one might turn the tides over for the side of Plat Patrol, swinging this big hammer, trying to take out Praise the Sun. He's going to get stuck, but he'll survive through it. That Pulse Bomb not strong enough to take out this big tank of Reinhardt. They're about to hit, well, they're already at 90%, 99% are the side of Plat Patrol. If they can just force the side of Awaken Militia off, they'll lock up this round one. It's pretty much just Zazan in here right now. Oh, we almost got off the point for just too long there. And now the Transcendence is going to come in for a re-engage from Awaken Militia.
Zazan's been sitting in here staggering, but it's just a huge group hug from a Graviton Surge. Senic's been waiting forever for that. They got the point flip. You can try to stall as a Pile of Diva as long as you want, but the real story was amidst the team fight when the rally ultimate from Willy Boy got popped and Karo's ultimate of the Transcendence was properly called out against 20's Fair Barrage, immediately gave them the over-sustainability to make the presence on the point. And I'm not too sure that Awaken Militia woke up today and had enough coffee to gather their reinforcements on the point in time to where they were only at 92%. And just like that, Plat Patrol, they had the 99% damn near in tow already, that they were already mid-ult fight battle, that all they had to do was just hold behind that Reinhardt shield, hold behind Jordan. He's been holding strong thus far, Elite, and they will go up 1-0 on moving into Gardens, rather.
Yeah, Senna came in with a huge Rocket Barrage. He came in with a big Graviton Surge there in that final fight to lock that one up for them to secure that round one. And it was 100% to 92%, so it was a very close game. Both teams put up a very good fight, so hopefully we have some very good matches in store tonight. These are two very evenly matched teams. Zazan's going to wipe out Jordan Fire there, and Zazan off to a hot start. All of Awaken Militia off to a hot start. 5 people. It's only Senic in here, and he's not going to be able to take on everyone. They're just trying to focus down this final Zarya, and they will. And that's going to be a 6-0 for Awaken Militia as this one gets underway as they take the point.
Colin's going to get a nice sleep onto 20, and that's probably the best thing that they could have asked for after they got all decimated by Praise the Sun and Zazan's covering thus far. It was pickup from 20's Fair. You can see already about to have a barrage walking into this next team fight, Elite, and it's about to be devastating because they have a slow-moving backline of now Karo swapping over to Zenyatta and aimbot now over to the McCree. This is easy picky. You can see it coming in clean here.
Yeah, there's the Rocket Barrage out from 20 there. We're going to lock up a kill on the Jordan with it. Praise the Sun coming out with that Pulse Bomb and more kills for the side of Awaken Militia, as well as the Reds is going to bring 20 back in. So it's like nobody died now. Aimbot, Banker, and the rest of them all getting pushed back. Praise the Sun will recall back and get healed back up. And Awaken Militia will hold off that attack. And you talked about Aimbot making the switch over to McCree, probably to deal with 20. So we'll see how his McCree is. We'll see if it's quite as good as Aimbot Calvin.
Yeah, you can go ahead and see Senic nearing the Graviton Surge. Not going to have an ultimate combo along with that, but Colin staying on the Ana. Could be an Nano Boost Reinhardt into it, but it's going to be the Valkyrie from Huawei that starts this team fight for the sustainability into the Primal Rage. But the group hug is big, but it's not big enough to overwhelm the Transcendence.
Yeah, pretty much only had a Primal Rage aloof there as that one got in the way, but Cynic taking down 20 very low, but he'll get taken out by 20. He eats a rocket right there. As this fight continues on, you hear the Earthshatter coming out from Jordan Fire, and it's nothing but Awaken Militia in the kill feed. Just blue filled up, and Plat Patrol is again going to get their attack pushed off by the side of Awaken Militia. Willy Boy falls there. Big Goomba stomp out from Aloop Andrew, and Aimbot Banker, the last one alive, is just going to have to head back and watch his team walk out of spawn room. 90% now for the side of Awaken Militia. They're looking to close this one and take this one to a round 3, and they're going to have a Rocket Barrage as well as a self-destruct ready for them in this, what could be the final fight of this second round. And with the Deadeye gone already, that might pretty much lock this one up for Awaken Militia.
This is 20's best map. Farah is best played on Gardens. You can see there's so much high ground and versatility for her to hide behind. Farah in particular, 20, him as a player is playing fantastic. Way keeping alive using 20 as an anchor, and you can see how easy it is for this Mercy player to stay alive and keep everybody alive. 99-0 in this transcending team fight.
Yeah, and there goes Karo. Praise the Sun chasing down Cole. Wants to get this kill with the Ana, and he's gonna probably secure. Oh, he'll actually get punched in the face there as time ends. But either way, Awaken Militia are able to take round 2, tie this one up at 1, and that one much more convincing than the first round as Awaken Militia takes it 100-0.
They're starting to understand, you know, Colon is staying on this Ana, Karo on the Zenyatta, so they're not exactly fast moving. You know, I mean, they're not they have no ability of movement whatsoever, Elite. So they're unable to withstand the punishment of the blink ability that Praise the Sun was on for the Tracer, but that was the past 2 maps. Now we're moving on to University, where it's all shield tanks and all briquettes. You can see what I believe, yeah, it's actually a mirror composition if I've ever seen one before, and that is going to be a dividend for how hard of a microplay is about to be. Bakara with a late swap later, as soon as the round began, so it's going to be side of Awaken Militia with a slight advantage, but it's already negated.
Yeah, full on 6 versus 6 mirror composition here, like you talked about. Same here is coming out for both sides. We'll see who can get the advantage here as this one gets underway. 1-1, and the side of Awaken Militia. Oh, Aimbot Banker's going to land that headshot there. The res will come back, so 20 will come back in, and they'll have the numbers advantage. The res will come out as well from Carl. Still a 6v6, but Aimbot's able to take out Praise the Sun, and that will give the numbers over to the side of Plat Patrol, and they're going to push Awaken Militia out. Jordan Fire gets a little too deep there. Aimbot Banker trying to get way up in. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Don't think he's going to get anyone with it, but they are able to take the point for themselves as round 3 gets underway. And no one really committing to a big fight just yet. There goes Alof Andrew. He charges against Carl, but charges into his death as well.
Yeah, we'll charge into his death, but that is all worth it considering that both the tanks will be up and out of the way. A resurrection will come through anyway, and the point flip should follow through. 26% will go over to Plat Patrol off a fantastic stun block all the way to Aloof. Weiwei was stuck in the back getting a resurrection off, so there was no point to recontest. At that point, Kara was getting a resurrection for Jordan as well, so we were towards that 6v6 again, Elite. But Weiwei somehow found more healing off and was able to get that Valkyrie, which gave him the upper hand there. Fantastic Graviton Surge. Here comes the Galactic Dragon. Whoa! That's a sated one if I've ever seen it.
And that is full-on wombo combo, the definition there of the Dragon Strike with the Graviton Surge. Replay here of this huge Dragon Strike from Praise the Sun. They had those 2 ultimates ready. Everybody knows those are both big combo ultimates. Great coordination, great communication there from the side of Awaken Militia. They'll hold off that attack. Only 2 ultimates burned, and now 20 is going to bring out this rally as they get ready for another one. Aloof Andrew has this Earth Shatter ready, doesn't want to get this one blocked. He's going to come out with it. Caught quite a few people. They're stuck in a Graviton Surge. Hard to follow up on. He'll get charged. Going to take some damage there from the Reinhardt of Jordan Fire, and he's down very low. Is Alof Andrew. Valkyrie will get popped to try to charge him to keep him healed back up. Dragon Strike will come across from the side of Aimbot Baker. No one on the point through all this. They're still holding on. Our Awaken Militia. Finally, Plat Patrol will come back in. The Reinhardts will charge into each other. But again, it'll be Awaken Militia coming out on top. 70% for them now. They're just 30% away from taking this third and final round and taking the win 2-1. And as the side of Plat Patrol come have a Transcendence and maybe a rally left, but no big offensive ultimates ready for them or anything. And in a fight that they're going to need to take back this point and try to fill this one up to take this third round. But at the moment, it's looking good for Awaken Militia.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very sloppy team fight. They had all the ultimates, but none of the execution. Dragon Strike will come through for Praise the Sun, but it might not all matter to have a Graviton Surge with it or not, because you can see just Vanilla Hanzo is the way to go.
Yeah, he gives a headshot straight to the face of Cole there. It's only Jordan Fire in here. There he goes. Overtime is burning down. I don't think anyone is in to make it in. They will not. And Awaken Militia will take game 1, 2-1 on King of the Hill.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit over-eager walking into Gardens. They gave way too much space. 420 play of the game. However, we'll go over to Praise the Sun probably for the delicious Galactic Dragon. Yep, we've seen it. Wonderfully played and so well timed. The coordination behind Awaken Militia to truly become woke on this third map of Oasis.
Yeah, that was a picture perfect wombo combo there of the big gravity surge Dragon Strike. If you look it up in the dictionary, that's probably what you'll see. Picture perfect there. Great play from the side of Awaken Militia. They're off to a great start as they're able to take that first game. Lost that first round, but came back strong. Won the final 2, and the last 2 rounds they looked pretty different compared to that first round, because those last 2 rounds were kind of one-sided compared to that first round. That was a pretty close match where Plat Patrol took the win.
Oh, absolutely. But Kenobi, you saw it all happening from afar, man. What was your breakdown across all 3 of those crazy maps of Oasis?
I mean, it was really interesting to see. We saw Awaken Militia kind of lost their footing just a little bit in that first map against Plat Patrol. It looked like the the Farah just wasn't working out too well, and it looked like Plat Patrol had it really like in the bag with how to deal with that Farah. But as you mentioned, when you go over to, I believe it was Gardens, when you go over to Gardens, that's just such a good map for Farah, and they maybe got a little bit too greedy, thinking they couldn't deal with the Farah that much, and it came back to bite them just a little bit there. But I think we are probably in for a close match, and it is going to be Awaken Militia with that 1-0 victory. And Panda, I saw this coming out from Plat Patrol. We saw Anna coming out from Plat Patrol. And, as the support player on the desk here, I want to know, what were your thoughts about it? Do you think it worked? Do you think, it maybe shouldn't have been played that much? What were your thoughts on the play you saw coming out from the Anna?
Colon definitely made it work, but it's not one of those. I mean, she will fall into the off meta hero category technically, because I mean, to make Ana work, and I was saying it amidst the chaos on City Center as well, that when Praise the Sun sees that availability and there's nobody near Ana, that's a free kill right there. She has no self-healing, hardly any versatility to go along with her kit as well. On Control, maybe not so much. Maybe if you have the point, she could be a little bit better, but moving into these escort and more objective-based maps, I hope to see a little bit more come out and work all the way through.
Yeah, and Elite, it was kind of interesting, in that last fight, we saw, we just saw mirror comps basically going at each other, and we saw that, huge Galactic Dragon combo. Do you think that, Awaken Militia were just a little bit more wombo combo-y with their ultimates? We didn't really see Plat Patrol really combo their ultimates together that much, and with those kind of team comps, that's really what you're probably looking to do, right?
Yeah, they had that. We saw that was a big Graviton Surge, and this is a big combo all around. There's picture perfect wombo combo from the side of Awaken Militia, and they like I said, they've been together for a couple months, so probably a lot of synergy and a lot of communication and experience just all around as a team. So Awaken Militia, obviously a very strong team as they took that game one, and it wasn't just the Dragon Strike combo. Praise the Sun played very, 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 very well on Hanzo throughout that entire match, and I would expect to see more. We're about to jump onto Dorado for our second map of the night, and all around it was just not even just the wombo combo. It was just great play all around from Praise the Sun on Hanzo.
Yeah, definitely. Look out for Praise the Sun, and look out for Plat Patrol to maybe come back and take a 1-1 here, or it's going to be Awaken Militia taking a 2-0 lead. Guys, take it away.
All right. Thank you very much, Kenobi. We will be diving on to Dorado for our second map of the night. Will be our escort map. It's going to be the side of Plat Patrol on attack first. So Awaken Militia will take game one, and they will be off to a good start. And those last two maps, a little one-sided compared to that first match where it was, I believe, 100% for Plat Patrol and 92% for Awaken Militia. Awaken Militia took those last two rounds. I think Plat Patrol had maybe 20% filled up on that third round, and there was 100-0 on that second round. So obviously a lot of momentum onto their side. What do you think Plat Patrol is going to have to do here on their attack onto Dorado to try to push back the side of Awaken Militia and get some momentum back onto their side?
I think they just need to play their game, man. Play very methodical. Find out which one is going to be more of the thorn. We saw 20 definitely pop off in between City Center and Gardens, but then the story swapped over in between Praise the Sun and 20, back and forth in between City Center and University. So I think they need to, either A, pick their poison, or B, figure out how to antidote said poison, so that way they can find an answer, because none thus far besides a resurrection, because Praise the Sun's still going crazy. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, well, as you say that, it was the Caster's Curse, but he is, as you say that, yeah, Caster's Curse, but he'll get res back in. Good play from the Hoi 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 there. And remember, the Hoi 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 is Defang on the side of Awaken Militia, and the side, speaking of the side of Awaken Militia, they're coming up big in this fight. Aimbot Banker getting pushed back. He'll get pulled back in by the Hulk, though, and they'll lock up that kill. And now they're chasing down Carl. I don't know if this Jamaican DJ will be able to get away. He will jump down. They won't keep up the aggression that hard. But on this initial fight here, the side of Awaken Militia will hold them off. They will hold the payload right here at this choke point. And Praise the Sun with the Dragon Strike ready. Mark with that Transcendence ready as well. Over on the side of Plat Patrol, when it comes to the alt economy, Reinhardt, Jordan Fire about to have an Earth Shatter. Gets a pick already, follows it up with an Earth Shatter, and the Dragon Strike will come out from the side of Praise the Sun. Not going to be enough to turn the tides, though. It's the side of Plat Patrol's coming out on top. Aloof, Andro, and Zazan are still in here, but the whole hog is popped. That's not going to be enough. He eats a shield bash to interrupt that, as well as the rally came out from Willy Boy. So despite that first initial fight that got pushed back by the side of Awaken Militia, Plat Patrol comes back strong and hits this first checkpoint.
Yeah, the Dragon Strike from Praise the Sun may have claimed one, but it's not enough to satisfy its hunger. So you can see that the Earth Shatter, when it came through from Jordan, was all that you really need. And that's one thing that you do lose when you do take the Orisa, the Ball and Chain combination with Roadhog to combo with the Halt. You lose that Reinhardt v Reinhardt battle. It's a certain mental game when you know you can time the ultimate correctly a little bit easier, so that way you can know when to properly block a shatter and stop a team fight from occurring. But then you have this wonderful Orisa Bongo supercharger that just damage boosts everything.
This one's going to get underway. Supercharger, unfortunately, already taken out, though, by the side of Plat Patrols. Willy Boy was able to get that focus on in there. Rez will come back in for Jordan Fire, so this will turn back into a 6v6. Sound Barrier comes out from Plat Patrol. Good ultimate there from Caro, but it's going to be answered by a Transcendence from Mark, but not before Zazan falls. So the numbers will lie on the side, but a big Dragon Strike coming right across the payload. It definitely did a lot of damage, but was only able to get one, followed up by one from Aimbot Banker as well. It's pretty kind of an even fight right now, but throughout all this, they're still pushing them back. As we say even fight, we see the kill feed start to fill up for Plat Patrol. Ever since hitting that first checkpoint, they have been on a roll. They should be able to hit this second one. Rally popped by Willy Boy as they get ready for another fight.
Yeah, no Dragons will be claiming any lives on this push, but it's going to be point B, and the Lumerical Power Point will be unlocked for the Plats. And that said, they're going to be walking in here pretty swimmingly as well. They're going to be backed up by the rally, so even this Lucio over here has that 30 extra armor, though it's not that much. It will be coming around momentarily. You can see Willy Boy creating a lot of space and enabling Jordan to do a lot of frontline and extracurricular activities like swing his hammer at free reign. 20 now will be swapping over to Brigitte to try to create a little bit of that frontline magic. You can see that stun already coming through, but when the charge came through, an Earth Shatter was a soon and out answer, and Jordan's been waiting for that one all night. You better believe it, folks.
That was a huge Earth Shatter from Jordan. That one's going to pretty much lock it up for the side of Plat Patrol. We're going to get a replay of that huge Earth Shatter, which is absolutely what we need. You see, he caught a ton of the side of Awaken Militia. I don't know if anyone will be able to make it in. No, Andrew charges into the wall. He died anyway, but he actually charged into the wall. Wasn't able to make it to the payload. Probably would have charged into his death had he made it that far, but wow, that was a very strong attack from the side of Plat Patrol. They take all three with 3:46 in the time bank. Very strong play. They lost that first initial fight way back before the first checkpoint, before even they were able to hit that initial arc choke point way back there at the beginning. And ever since that fight, they came back and it was all the side of Plat Patrol.
That's the second time that Aloof got punished for charging within about 15 seconds. Within its own self, the 5-second lull was when he was knocked on the ground, excuse me, from Jordan's Earth Shatter. And to my point, all the way back around towards the courthouse area of second here for Dorado, as well as we're floating over top of it. It's such a beautiful map, Dorado is really. But, you know, to the point, when you lose that Reinhardt v Reinhardt battle, it's hard to really time out where the Earth Shatter ultimate is. We know it's not some of the most calculated ultimate to where you get knocked down, but it is a devastating one regardless. And that seems to be the talk of the land these days, Elite, is that, you know, crowd control effects and chain CC and however long you're stunned, and regardless of its effect, is really how you gain the upper hand these days. It used to be ultimate combining and it used to be this and that, but now that's just a nice partition to the ensemble that has become the stun meta.
Yeah, and we definitely saw the side of Plat Patrol coming out strong with the stun meta there on that attack. To take it that far with 3:46 left, that's a very strong attack. And like we talked about, they lost that very first initial fight, and ever since then, there was just nothing that the side of Awaken Militia could do. They took that one all the way with just virtually no defense. They just won every single fight, and there was nothing Awaken Militia could do. And now the side of Awaken Militia is going to begin their attack. Aimbot Banker still in here on this Hanzo. No reason to switch. He's played very strong. Over on the side of the DPS from the side of Awaken Militia, we see Praise the Sun coming out in the Widow. And 20, we saw very strong play from this in round one. Looks like they are on game one. Maybe they want to go back to it, but we see him coming out on the Pharah.
The magic's already spreading thus far. Discord Orb and damage boost coming out from the Hoi Hoi is plenty enough. And when you don't have the Storm Arrow on the side or for aimbot, that's not really any damage coming out to shoot far out of the sky, able to elongate the damage and creating residual pressure towards the front line, which just lets Praise the Sun do what he is chosen to do here, and that is to praise the forehead roll.
And 20 just flying up above, taking out whoever he wants. They hit this first checkpoint. It's kind of like they just strolled in there like a side. And again, 20 is just going to get right up in these guys' faces. And 20 on fire right now. Ever since this one has gotten underway, it's like the side of Plat Patrol never left spawn with how quickly Awaken Militia was able to hit that one. 20 keeping up this aggression, pushing all the way, as well as a big charge from Alof Andrew that Willie Boy walked right into. Kara will eat a rocket to the face, and Awaken Militia giving them no time to breathe right now as they keep this payload moving. It's just the Zenyatta of Mark all the way back there, just keeping this one by himself, being the lone escort hero. And Awaken Militia, very, very strong start right now. Like I said, it's been virtually no defense. We haven't seen a fight or anything. It's just been the side of Awaken Militia walking in and bullying Plat Patrol and killing all of them, picking them off one by one. No, there hasn't been a 6v6 fight or anything. And when this 6v6 fight does break out, we see aimbot get gone already. So there ain't going to be a 6v6 right now, but we see a lot of ultimates ready for the side of Awaken Militia.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Praise the Sun has been coming up and finding an entry kill every single time a team fight even starts. And that's a certain pressure that Colon has to feel. You can see right there, going for a certain heal, bait out in the open, and you will lose your main healer. Aimbot Banker will finally come to live and will find the counter pick on to Praise the Sun, but with nobody left alive, we know a Widowmaker isn't going to go to stop that payload alone. It's going to go be waltzing through 5 minutes and 35 seconds now for the attack of Awaken Militia into the power plant with the 5 ultimates, the core ultimates, if you will. I mean, infrared sight, it's really nice, information's great and all, but wait, I want to see what this Graviton Surge and the Farah Barrage is about to do here.
Yeah, there's some big ultimates ready for the side of Awaken Militia. You hear the rally come out. There it is, but a lot of it was eaten up by that shield, and it will get taken out by Cole. So, but he is able to take out Willie with it, and he'll get res back in. Now Graviton Surge is going to come out from the side of Senek as well, but it's answered by a Transcendence from Mark to keep all of them alive. As all this is happening, they're still keeping this payload moving, and they're still coming out on top. Cole's going to go for this res here. He'll pay for it with his life. He will bring Carl back in, and Carl will come right back in to his death. Aimbot Banker up here on the Widow. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything about all this. They're keeping this one moving. I don't think they'll be able to get there fast enough for them to just take this with no fight at all. But with no fight at all is pretty much what this entire round has been. Let's see if anyone can get in here. They should be able to come in and force a final fight, but it's going to be a last-ditch, just very, I don't know how strong of an effort or how good of an effort it's going to be, as the side of Awaken Militia has just been dominant throughout this entire attack. And they're coming out with a couple kills, though, are Plat Patrol. Let's see if they can be able to stop this payload for just a moment. There's the Graviton Surge, though, from Zazan.
And they're not going to have anything to stop the damage from this time. Kara won't have a Transcendence anytime soon. Colon is on the Moira, so healing is a benefactor to the land. Kara with the pick on a Praise the Sun. And with the spawns coming through, it could give them a certain versatility on the point now. Less pressure, sniping away your squishies. And yeah, you can go ahead and see Aloof calling for the regroup there behind the Reinhardt shield. They're waiting for a full group of 6. Zazan probably wishing to have that Graviton Surge just previously used. We'll have a lot of energy, though. It's been charging a lot of that every single team fight. 20 with a fair barrage this time around. Gotta go quick, though, because Kara will have the Transcendence here momentarily.
And Iluf has this Earth Shatter ready. They can combo this up with the Rocket Barrage from 20 if they can get a big one here. They will not capture it with as much time. And it's the Earth Shatter. Oh, well, I thought a lot of it was blocked there by Alof, and they're going to use that as their engage. Our Plat Patrol, and they're coming out on top big time. Only Zazan in there now, and he's just going to head on out. The Earth Shatter came out from Jordan, and Andrew had his shield up, but he actually was in the air. I don't know if it won't block if he's not on the ground, but he got hit by it along with a lot of his team as well. So good Earth Shatter from Jordan on the side of Plat Patrol to hold that one off, and they had about 5 minutes and 45 seconds after they took that third checkpoint. But they were able to come in and hold them off at the very end. We're Plat Patrol, but a pick from Praise the Sun might spell the beginning of the end. But a strong Graviton Surge from Senek here.
Yep, Senek is going to get the group hug. Really ready for Awaken Militia, and that's kind of what they wanted too. Zazan just charging up all the way for this Graviton Surge. Transcendence started to use this Graviton Surge is going to come through, and Aimbot Banker will find 20's face, but there's more than enough rally on the point to bait out this Coalescence. They just have to shut down the final flash of Colon.
Cole is in there, and then Jordan, who makes the switch over to Winston just to jump back in, will get here. Let's see what kind of a defense they can put up. And Willie over on the Doomfist as well. Andrew comes out with this Earth Shatter. They'll get kills off of that. Praise the Sun is up here on the Hanzo, locking up these kills. He'll be jumped on by Jordan. Jordan get knocked back onto the payload, and that's going to contest it yet again, so it's not going to move anywhere. But the side of Awaken Militia is coming back into this fight. Still, and there goes Aimbot as he eats a rocket. There goes Cole as well. The Jamaican DJ of Carl will jump in to contest this one at the last second. Has Senek in here as well, and it's looking like an assault map at this point, how they're just staggering in. Senek, the last one in here. There he goes. They'll move this one. No, again, Jordan will come in to contest this one. Good job staggering, because through all this, they are still decreasing the time bank of Awaken Militia.
Yeah, and you can see exactly why everybody of the Plat Patrol wanted to pick the heroes. Willie on Doomfist especially to get back to the point. Quick as all get out, just a few punches and a hop skip away from the spawn room for Doomfist and a Winston. Not exactly the best picks into the composition that they were running with 20 on Pharah and Zazan on the Zarya as well. So, I mean, it was hard there at the end, but you're not necessarily going for the focus kills at that point or the focus picks. You're really just trying to go for the stall. If you come up on an upper hand on a key pick like Aloof's Rhine or 20's Far or something like that, yeah, you can get it done, but it's so hard to focus key targets there. You really just try to go for the stall, and they did it so wonderfully too, considering that we were walking in to Lumerico power plant elite. I forget the time bank specifically, but it was definitely a lot more than Plat Patrol had. But they now Awaken Militia on their second round of attack, just coming off of their first, have 1 minute and 31 seconds. And 20 is hovering over this Genji.
Yeah, hovering over the Genji, it'll be the first time that we see it if he brings it out, but he will swap over to Widow. We'll see if he decides to keep that, because they're in the attack. They can swap whatever they want. But it was about 5 minutes and 40 seconds as they took that third and final checkpoint to get in there. So very strong stall from the side of just effortlessly walking all the way to the third checkpoint. It was like they needed a wake-up call to the side of Plat Patrol, and we're going to see Andrew coming out on the Winston. The Zazan on the Diva, and 20 is going to come with this Genji, so looks like they're going to run this dive composition. They know they only have they have less than 90 seconds, so they know that they're going to have to play aggressive, and they're going to have to get right up in the faces of Plat Patrol if they want to move this payload. So they're going to come out with this big dive composition. Praise the Sun is still on the Hanzo. He's played very well, so no surprise there. And let's see how Awaken Militia can do on their attack. They get over here to the choke point. Already you hear the 60 seconds remaining. Praise the Sun doing a ton of damage, but no kills come out yet. We see the D-Mech on the Zazan as you see it pop up there in the top right. And that's a tank gone. Willie Boy's going to rush in here and get a shield bash onto Andrew, and they're just doing a good job of keeping them pushed back. Praise the Sun already has built up this big Dragon Strike, so let's see if he can get a big one here. Down to 30 seconds left already on their attack. They're stuck at this choke point, but here comes the Dragon Strike from Praise the Sun.
Yeah, the Dragon Strike will give them the presence back on the point, will push everybody back, and this is exactly the composition what they need here. Aloof, Andrew, and Zazan just trying to stick tried and true on the dive. Yes, it will fall short because they were hesitant. Zazan lost his mech a little bit too early, and they were kind of worse for wear, but that's what the Super Shimada Bros are supposed to do. And now they find themselves at 10 seconds. Awaken Militia not waking up here in the nighttime of Dorado, maybe needing to stop by on their taco stand before the spawn room and get a double bean burrito as 20 just dashes onto the point to try to procure overtime. He will get it.
He'll dash in, and the overtime will come out. As you said, let's see, in a big nano boost, that's a big, powerful Reinhardt in there. Let's see what they can do. Andrew will dive back in and have this big dive composition in here on the big Winston. The Transcendence will come out. 20's going to come out with this Dragon Blade. He's going to need a big one, but he'll run into a stun from Aimbot Banker, and he'll get taken now. You hear the rally come out as well from Willie. The Dragon Strike came across. Big Graviton Surge is going to catch everyone that's left alive over on the side of Awaken Militia, and that will be the beginning of the end. Overtime burns down. Aimbot Banker pops the high noon right there at the end. Strong defense from the side of Plat Patrol. And as the fight before the last fight got underway, it looked like it might have been a decent start for Awaken Militia. They got a quick pick onto, I believe it was Senek, as he ate a arrow from Praise the Sun, and then Alof Andrew jumped in to lock up that one, but it was a big dead eye from Aimbot that even that fight back up and was able to get the win on that fight for Plat Patrol, and a very strong defensive hold from them. They only had about 90 seconds did the side of Awaken Militia, but still good. I mean, if it had been anything like their initial attack where they just strolled up there, then it'd be a very much different story. But good defense from the side of Plat Patrol, and now they're going to have 3 minutes and 46 seconds just to take this one almost 60 meters.
And it's very frustrating. I can only imagine, as Zazan, the Diva player in particular, just trying to look around, making sure that the defense matrix is on the right target. He just turns around from the corner into the payload and just gets his mech obliterated. And that's not necessarily, although it wasn't a full pick, able to live through as a pilot Diva. When you don't have the mech itself, you said it yourself, and it's practically a tank down. I mean, there's nothing you're going to be able to do. And that's what that composition was heavily reliant on. The dive coming through from aloof to stay alive. You know how the defense matrix is supposed to be on the Winston, so that way 20 can get a clean dash. Would have been out perfectly, but Colon, you can see again, the comfort on Ana made it work on control, and this is where it works best with when an objective is added in. Those grenade spots become available. They're a little bit easier to land, and the splash damage available. Praise the sun with the opening pick again.
Yeah, with Senec gone, that's going to kind of stall this attack initially from the side of Plat Patrol. They'll eat a halt, and they'll get pushed back up, but the side of a good defense already. Praise the sun again with another pick. So good defense from the side of Awaken Militia as this one gets underway. A hook's going to come in from Willy Boy, and there he goes as Azan gets that one. And strong defense from the side of Awaken Militia. We'll see if they can keep it up because it's going to be a long 3 minutes that they have to hold this. You talked about Colin coming out on the Ana. Kind of a niche pick. I know you're a High Diamond Masters support main who plays a lot of Ana, so I know it's kind of a niche pick, but Cole has made it work very well throughout this match.
Yeah, like we were mentioning earlier, Ana Waste itself, not exactly a pick that you see coming out, but these teams are both averaged around 4K themselves, so I mean, making an Ana work in this high stress of a scrim is fantastic to see. A little bit easier on defense if we're speaking more analytical than anything, but still making it work on attack, staying behind Jordan. You can see being very fierce just to make sure that Ana stays alive. And this is really the ability all behind the double shield composition. You can see Willy Boy goes right, and then Jordan goes left. And there's just so much available room on the point that Jordan can just get a shatter off at will.
Yeah, this is going to lock it up here for Plat Patrol. Mark is in there. 20 runs into a sleep. They're
20?
just going to watch him sleep there.
What?
At the end, he types it in the chat, so I don't think they can see it on the stream, but 20 typed in nice sleep. That the sleep stopped him from getting on to contest it. Even if he would have contested it, don't know how strong that contest would have been, but yeah. Strong attack there from Plat Patrol as they came out. Awaken Militia was off to a good start with their defense. We see the play of the game was this huge earth shatter there from Jordan. We had a replay of that after it happened. Big attack from the side of Plat Patrol, and they will take the win here on Dorado. They will even the series up at 1-1. Great play from them. Kenobi, from the outside perspective, what did you think?
So muted.
You're pulling a me.
It's contagious. Everybody on this desk right now needs to be careful because it happened on Open Division on Saturday. It happened on Open Division on Saturday and on Sunday. It's contagious. Just watch out for it. Make sure that you wipe your microphones after you're done using them in your headsets, so that way you don't catch it.
The mute bug goes around, and it just kind of it's something where it's just like you can't really like. You only know when the people in the chat and when your analyst desks are telling you like, "Hey, you're muted." And you never get that feeling. You don't have that like feeling in the back of your mind. But who does have the feeling in the back of his mind with that sleep dart? Colin on 20 right there. That sleep was absolutely chef's kiss. Just put me to bed after that. But it is going to be Plat Patrol taking a 1-1 here. This draw, they even it up, and man, Plat Patrol looked like a completely different team after that first point. I think, as you mentioned, they completely rolled. They lost that one fight and then moved it all the way, getting it in 3 minutes and 46 seconds. So, it was interesting because they were playing that Reinhardt Zarya into that Roadhog, Orisa ball and chain combo. Elite, do you think that Awaken Militia needed to switch to that, Zarya Ryan mirror just a little bit sooner, because they ended up doing it at the last point, but at that point it might have been just a little bit too late.
Well, you talked about how they switched up, and their preferred heroes, according to our cheat sheets, are Ryan and Zarya. So for them to come out with that ball and chain like you talked about, it did work out well initially for them, but like you talked about, Plat Patrol following that came out very, very strong and just took that one with 3:46 under the timing. That's a ton of time. And then we saw Awaken Militia come out on their attack, and they strolled all the way to almost to the very end until Plat Patrol was able to put up that very final stand, and were able to stall them for about 4 minutes there in that final room. And Awaken Militia, obviously Ryan and Zarya are probably the two biggest tanks right now. Like when it comes to a tier list and all that, Ryan and Zarya are obviously very, very strong. So for them to run the ball and chain and it not quite be as strong compared coupled with the fact that Alof and Zazan are both very comfortable on Ryan and Zarya. They know how strong it is, and they were running the ball and chain. But when we saw they switched it was very, very strong. So we'll see if they play it more. But obviously, Ryan and Zarya, two very strong heroes that Awaken Militia are comfortable. I think we'll see more of it from them later on.
Yeah, and speaking of Awaken Militia and heroes they're comfortable on, Panda, I mean 20 on this fair, absolutely stellar play coming out from him from those first 2 points, just not as good as they would have hoped for, getting stalled after that, after that last like 4-minute stall at the last point of C, as Elite mentioned. Do you think that Plat Patrol needs to maybe start to focus that pharmacy a little bit more? They did bring out a Widow, but it was being beaten by Praise the Sun. Do you think they might need to switch to, something like a hit scan just a little bit sooner? Because on Oasis, it looked like they were fine with just letting it go. But on this map, maybe they need to start, making a little bit more decision to try and deal with 20 in that pharmacy.
You said it yourself. I mean, each map is different than the next. I mean, even on Oasis itself, City Center, a little bit easier to play around Farah than compared to, say, like Gardens or something like that, because there's only so many areas for her to hide. Same thing for Dorado as well. A lot of buildings on second for Farah to hide around. Into your counterpoint as well, when aimbot finally swapped onto Widowmaker, was immediately relinquished off that mantle by Praise the Sun. And then immediately swapped to Hanzo, and they started helping out to deal with it a little bit more. We know that Sonic Arrow can do, or that Storm Arrow can do the damage that needs to be dealt to Farah if in the allotted time of Storm Arrow. Caro, though, on Zenyatta, feel for you. Because, yeah, you need a little bit more help with the Farah in the sky. There's a lot of splash damage coming off. And to the point as well, Colon on Ana as well. Can't necessarily always keep the Zenyatta alive amidst all that massive spread and area of effect damage that Farah just rains down from above, no pun intended. But yeah, the 20s Farah, pretty darn good. Again, to the point I made a couple maps ago, really helps out the Hoi Hoi Mang over here. Just stay alive on Mercy time and time again.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we didn't see 20 on their second attack go to that Farah. We saw him go to that Genji. Now, with this current meta, Elite, do you think Genji is going to fall off a lot? Because, I mean, we saw 20 on this Genji not really doing too much. It's very hard with all the CC and all the booping, and, you're just a robotic ninja, and you only have that one dash for escape. How do you think he's going to be in this current meta? Do you think he's going to fall off pretty hard unless it's a full dive versus dive kind of play?
I think as long as Brigitte is around with a easy stun every 6 seconds, it's going to be tough for Genji to dive in anywhere when you have this big Brigitte that's just able to peel Genji off of anybody that he dives onto. And 20 does have it listed on our notes that Genji is his preferred hero. And we saw him bring it out, but obviously not nearly the results that he had when he was on the Pharah on their initial attack, because they steamrolled right in and took that first checkpoint when he was on that Pharah. So, and he's played very well in Pharah throughout the entire night, and then he switches over to Genji. I know that that's a big comfort pick for him, but right now Genji just isn't what he used to be compared to some DPSs that have taken a big bump with the changes. With Brigitte and the big shield bash stun, which is what Willy Boy has pretty much exclusively played. He's a DPS, but has played almost exclusively Brigitte, and plain and simple, 20 will not be able to play Genji as long as Brigitte's around.
Yeah, very difficult with that stun, shield best, as you mentioned. Very difficult to get in there, get out safely. But, so it looks like we are going to be going to Hanamura for our third game now. Colin has been playing this Ana a lot, Panda, and, this is one of those maps where, Ana seems to shine a little bit on that first point A Hanamura defense. Can you explain to me just a little bit and a little bit to the audience why Ana on this map and, some of these other maps with these sightlines is such a good pick, and especially with Brigitte has that anti-grenade?
Well, you said it yourself. It's the anti-grenade. It's the grandma juice that we've come to love here at Broadcast.gg. Thank you, Ham Tornado. We also, the sightlines aren't the most important things to the defensive Ana. It's the same thing on Numbani. There's only so many routes that the attacking team are going to come through. It's by the point that you know which route they will be coming through that the biotic grenade will be coming around. At that point, when you are having Brigitte shield bash the Reinhardt, take down the shield, get that big anti-grenade off, get that big burst healing coming through for your team, and that's a certain good way to enable a team fight for your Reinhardt. And you can see Colon and Jordan, they have a lot of consistency amongst one another. So maybe a lot of practice on the Bonnie and Clyde style that is Reinhardt and Ana. So yeah, I want to see more of it. If they're definitely capable of pulling out the flashy plays like they did on Dorado, I want to see more of them.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to be heading into this game now. So guys, take it away for this match on Hanamura. Have a good one.
All right, Kenobi, thank you very much for your halftime analysis with us there. We will jump it in, like Kenobi said, on to Hanamura, our assault map for the night, 2CP. We will see what kind of 2CP lull we can get out of this. And as we're about to jump in, we saw Plat Patrol take it back on Dorado. That'll tie it up at 1-1, and we'll see what the side of Plat Patrol comes out with, as they will again be on attack first. And Willie Boy listed as a DPS. And he, like we said, he's played pretty much exclusively Brigitte throughout a lot of this. Do you expect him to just stay on the Brigitte? I mean, I know that she is very strong. When she first came out, we didn't see a lot of her in the Scrim nights, and we kind of just thought that in these 6v6 fights with all this synergy and these teams that have been together for so long, we didn't know if Brigitte just wasn't as big a deal because they would be able to handle her as a team. But as the meta has developed more since she has came out, she's pretty much a must-pick hero, it seems, for a lot of people. So do you expect to see Willie Boy stay on this Brigitte?
Well, as they're setting up here for their defense, I mean, it definitely makes a lot more sense to give Praise the Sun the solo DPS. Let 20 keep shining strong on the flexibility role. I mean, yes, Praise the Sun has been flexing back and forth between a couple different heroes, Widowmaker, Hanzo, Genji. I'm sorry, Tracer, not Genji. It's been fantastic to see how good and how well versed he is with the pulse bow, if you will, and it's really nice. Never in the end when these triple-ish tank support compositions work so well in tangent with one another, because like we were talking about before Hanamura began, shield bash in a composition like this can mean everything, as it is a mirror composition.
Full on mirror composition, and Praise the Sun on the Hanzo, both of the DPSs on the Brigitte, and the side of Plat Patrol will push in. They'll get that initial kill, but now kills will come out for the side of Awaken Militia. Praise the Sun shooting arrows into that little bitty room right there, and he shoots an arrow to Karo's face as well after getting Koa. Now he's chasing down, going head-to-head with this Hanzo, but Andrew will come in, throw up that big shield, and interrupt that 1v1 fight. We're going to get a replay of Praise. Obviously, big play from him right there as Awaken holds off that initial attack and already has a Dragon Strike ready. No one else even has 70%.
Simple geometry got replaced with a voice line that might as well say, yes, please, stand closer to me. I have Storm Arrow up, and I am more than happy to click on your head, lol. And that's one of the better parts about Hanzo, though the damage drop-off is there. It comes out at full charge, and when you're that close, it might as well be a hit scan. Big Graviton Surge coming through with a Dragon Strike to follow. Certainly hungry was Praise the Sun's Dragon to be fully sated.
And it was only Senek there in that tiny little room, and he got taken out by Praise the Sun as well. 4 players on fire right now for the side of Awaken Militia. Great start for them on their defense. Almost 2 minutes gone already on Plat Patrol's attack. Had not really switching anything up either. What do you think is going wrong for them right now in this initial attack? Is it just Awaken Militia just putting up a strong defense, or is there anything that they might need to change hero-wise or anything to try to give them a stronger attack? As we see Colin already got picked off by Mark on that Zenyatta, and they're pushing in, keeping up this big aggression going, knowing they have the numbers advantage. Willie Boy will get charged, and they will push them back already yet again. So anyway, back to my question, do you think there's anything they'll change hero-wise? They have a lot of ultimates ready, about to be 6, so if there was any fight that'd be winnable for them, it would be this next one.
It might as well be that we have to stick on these heroes. They still have a minute and 50, so they can try to pull out one attack here, backed by the Rally and Valkyrie. Very interesting, because it's just going to regroup them for an Earthshatter, but they didn't find Jordan, and that's going to set them all on the ground for Aimbot's Dragon Strike.
Big Dragon Strike. Yeah, it was a big Earthshatter. Didn't even have to use the Graviton Surge. Team kill bell is going to ring throughout the map. We just thought, I just asked, do you think they'll need a switch or anything? And they like, no, we just needed to build up these big ultimates. Big Earthshatter from Jordan. Big Dragon Strike from Banker. Great play Great fight from the side of Plat Patrol. We'll see if they're able to snowball this one. Senek has this Graviton Surge ready. Over on the side of Awaken Militia, we see 3 ultimates with the Valkyrie, the Dragon Strike, and the Graviton Surge. So a big wombo combo could shut down this initial snowball attack we might be about to see from the side of Plat Patrol.
Yeah, and it's probably not going to be a snowball lead. I mean, like point A, you see a lot of teams, they do get stalled out for that exact purpose, that you do need a couple ultimates just to try to make something big happen. And speaking of making something big happen, there's a fadeaway, a Kobe of a Graviton Surge with the Galactic Dragon, the suit, on the side of Awaken Militia. All the way from downtown, they made that combo happen. It was from the point.
And then they will chase down Cole just for good measures to take him out as well. So 6 kills there that we just talked about right before that big fight, right before that big combo happened in that fight. How they had those 2 ultimates up. Praise the Sun and Zazan have been comboing that perfectly all night. Zazan, big Graviton Surges, seems to capture 5-6 people every single time. Praise follows it up perfectly with the big Dragon Strike. It's just great play from those 2 together. A lot of great synergy and communication from the side of Awaken Militia. Plat Patrol will stroll on in upstairs here for another attempt at a fight here. And Senek still with this Graviton Surge. Hoi, 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 which, as we talked about, is Defang over on the side. He has Valkyrie ready. There's the Graviton Surge. Is going to catch 3 people. Let's see if they can follow up on this.
And the missed timing, though, they were all out of the group hug, but they were in there long enough for Jordan to do what Jordan does best and swing the hammer at will. They just need to get rid of Zazan, rather, and there's the control meter starting to be built on the side for Plat. And they're already sitting here, and they're gonna have to use Transcendence just to get onto the point, though, Elite.
They are able to make it back in with that Transcendence, like you said. Let's see if they can push them back. The Earth Shatter gets blocked completely by Andrew. Great shield from him, so Earth Shatter is going to be completely negated, and they will come out on top and hold this one off at the moment. This is why it's called 2 CP lull. Look how close they were to getting that 3rd and final tick, but they are going to hold them off. 91% for the side of Plat Patrol. They might have been able to come out on top in that fight had that Earth Shatter landed, but it was a great shield from Andrew to block that, and they will hold off that attack. 3 minutes left, though, for Plat Patrol, and only 1 more tick for them that they need.
It might be why they call it 2 CP lull, but in a different manner, speaking of stall. But that was a wonderful regroup that came out for the side of Awaken Militia. They ended up setting Praise the Sun on the high ground to try to clear it for the rest of the core 5 members of Awaken Militia regrouped on the point, and they took them out by storm, like you mentioned, blocking the Earth Shatter. Now Aloof will have his own Earth Shatter to try to catch the rest of the team of Plat on their rears for Praise the Sun to go big on the Dragon Strike. We've seen the combo before quite some time tonight, Elite. Can they do it again, as they've already given up 2 ticks with 2 minutes left on the board?
Zazan very close to a Graviton Surge as well, so they'll have that chance to combo as well. Praise the Sun walking up here doing a bunch of damage to them, but the Aimbot Baker has his Dragon Strike ready as well. Senek and Zazan both very close to their Graviton Surges, so there's a lot of potential for both teams for big wombo combos, and the pick on Zazan will be their chance to engage. Jordan will charge him, but he'll get taken out by Andrew already, so it'll be a 5v5, and the spawn advantage is going to lie with the side of Awaken. There's the Transcendence, though, to answer the big Graviton Surge that came out. Ultimate's coming out all over from everyone in this map right now, but we see that it's Awaken Militia coming out on top and pushing them back yet again, despite an initial pick that saw a 6v5 in favor of Plat Patrol, and they're keeping up, pushing them all the way back as they chase down Aimbot to lock up that kill, and it's down to just a little over 60 seconds now for Plat Patrol on their attack. Only 1 more tick for them. They had an initial pick there to begin that fight on number, but Jordan ran straight in and ran straight into his death. He has an Earth Shatter ready, but over on the side of Awaken Militia, we see strike ready. And there it is. It comes out right now. Praise the Sun's going to bring out, and again, a combo will come out for the side of Awaken Militia. They'll push down and take out Karo, and that's another fight gone and another fight lost by Plat Patrol. Awaken will push them back yet again, chasing down Willy Boy. They'll lock up that kill for good measure. Aimbot will climb up and be the last one left alive. 40 seconds left now on their attack as they got wiped out yet again by a Graviton Surge Dragon Strike combo. That one wasn't quite as you know, big play of the game fancy as the other ones, but we hear a rally get popped by 20, and Andrew gonna have an Earth Shatter ready here in this 3rd and final fight. But over on the side of Plat Patrol, we see Earth Shatter and Dragon Strike ready, and they're gonna need a big one if they want to get this 3rd tick.
Absolutely, and Sank won't have that Graviton Surge to make the big group hug happen, so it's going to have to come down to Jordan to land a nice shatter for the initiation of aimbot's Dragon Strike. Needs to be careful, filing pretty low, but we know Aloof has been sitting here very patiently waiting for his, but it will get stuffed. Both our shatters getting stuffed.
And Jordan will charge in and swing this hammer around. We see the Dragon Strike come across. He's going to swing his hammer right into the face of Zazan here. Aimbot Banker in as well, trying to go head-to-head and take out Praise the Sun. The Dragon Strike will come out from Praise the Sun. That thing's going to go across the point. Not able to get anyone with it, but he will be able to lock up Willy Boy with. He did lock up Willy Boy with that, as well as taking out Banker as well. It's only Andrew in here now, though. If they can get him, they might be able to get this third tick. They're filling it up. Hoi 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 will dash in and get the Guardian Angel, as well as the Transcendence. No one on there filling it up. Oh my gosh, they will get it right there at the end. Good defense from Awaken Militia. That one came down to the wire right there at the end, but in the end, it is Plat Patrol taking all 3 ticks. Taking all 3 ticks, taking both capture points. No time left in the time bank, but with both ticks taken, they know that if they can hold them off, they will get the win. And if both ticks are taken, we will see, or if both points are taken, we will see another round. But good play from the side of Plat Patrol. Good play from both teams. In the end, it is just the attacking team coming out on top.
And you can, one of the more benefiting facts is that if Awaken Militia does, in fact, finish with the time bank, they will have the final moment to clutch out the victory. They don't have the time bank. I believe that we are reset for a final moment on both the teams. Each team will be given a minute to give out their best moment of attack. I believe that fix came around so that way we could try to have less draws on this map. This was the one that it was most infamous for. But at the end of the day, Awaken Militia, yes, fantastic defense. They were really setting up their anti-dive very well. Their death ball was everywhere at once, it may seem. Aloof, understanding where to charge at a moment's glance. And you can see Praise the Sun just being very flexible and very patient as well, finding the headshots back and forth to charge that Dragon Strike to combo along with both of his tanks. But that's the real story of it all, though, here, Elite, is that these tanks, collectively, all 4 of them on the board, Aloof, Zazan, Jordan, and Sync itself has been, they've all been playing fantastic. I mean, quite literally, they have all been creating so much space that enable a lot of these different heroes themselves, including Brigitte, Up 20, and Willy Boy, to shield bash and to use their kit to their fullest potential.
Yeah, they will begin their attack. Will Awaken Militia. Both these DPS is still coming out on Brigitte. We'll see if Awaken Militia can charge right in here. Like we saw them do on Dorado, they ran right in, and Alof is going to get sped right in here as they have the Lucio pushing them in. Aimbot, though, already Andrew is gone. And with Andrew gone, the side of Awaken Militia will be forced to back up. Aimbot still chasing down Praise the Sun, going very aggressive here. But the side of Plat Patrol will hold off at here just 30 seconds in as they took out Alof Andrew right away. So with Andrew down, that big tanky Reinhardt gone. Ooh, Aimbot Banker's going to take out Mark and Hoi Hoi. Both of those supports gone. So that's another 10, 20 seconds gone that the side of Awaken Militia will have to wait for them to respond. And Plat Patrol, Aimbot Banker specifically, off to a strong start in their defense.
Yep, and absolutely, this is that Ana composition that we're talking about. It works so well. Wait for that grenade, wait for the proper shots, and you can keep your tanks alive for days, it seems, if you're landing the shots in between your flips. Fantastic Dragon Strike is going to be coming out ever so quickly, but the picks are still coming through for the side of Awaken. Won't be able to have the man advantage.
Yeah, small numbers advantage lies with the side of Plat Patrol, and there goes Foy as he eats a shot from Calvin. Just this Zazan in here now as well, and he's trying to head out, but he will get taken now. They will again hold them off, and no tick was taken for the side of Awaken Militia. But this was something that I asked you back on the side of Plat Patrol's initial attack, was if they were to swap something up or whatever. But once we see them build up these big ults, that might be all they need to just walk in and take this one for themselves. We see Mark with the Transcendence, but this is on and Praise the Sun, that big combo. They're slowly working towards it. And they're just going to run right in here again for another fight.
Yep, and you can see that, that's going to be Koa just staggering behind, no mobility whatsoever, and that's exactly what Willy Boy and Aimbot both want. Shield bash into arrow to mouth, and that's very unfortunate to see. Not getting any of Weiwei's speed boost effect. And you can see when you're lacking that speed boost effect and you don't have the time to swap over to a healing aura for Lucio, you find yourself at about 2 minutes and 20 seconds gone on the attack of Hanamura with only about 62% to your ult. And that's a very scary situation to be in as you're just walking into a giant Graviton Surge. Here comes the Dragons.
And again, that attack will be gone. The last fight, that's going to be another team kill. That's 2 fights in a row that the team kill bell has rang for the side of Plat Patrol. They won that last fight, only the one before the big Wombo combo, only off of an Earth Shatter from Jordan. Huge Earth Shatter caught, I believe, 4 people. And that was all they needed. That was the beginning of the end there for Awaken Militia in that fight. And then we saw them stroll right in to the big combo that we've seen all night long coming out from both sides. But now they're going to come back with one of their own. Jordan is going to come out with that Earth Shatter. And again, they will get the picks. And again, it looks like they'll hold them off. Transcendence from Mark wasn't quite enough to save those two, the big support and the big tank gone. So again, they'll hold them off. 45 seconds now on the attack from the side of Awaken Militia. And they're going to have to make a big push here. They have 4 ults ready. Mark did burn that Transcendence, but they're going to have to come in here and make a big push. They have this Graviton Surge and Dragon Strike ready. If they can get a big one, that could be all they need to get this first point. But Aimbot will take out Praise the Sun, and that is another 6, 8, 10 seconds that they're going to have to wait for him to come back. And 20 seconds already now on their attack left. Dragon Strike's going to come across just to keep them zoned out. And this is going to be a very interesting last fight. They have a lot of ults ready, and they're going to have to push in and use them right now.
They're not going to have any support ultimates to come back alongside this. They're going to try for this Graviton Surge here. Nakaro's going to go ahead and have the Transcendence just readily available, but everybody's off the point besides Jordan. So they're able to start at a certain amount of control meter, but we're already in overtime elite.
That was a 5-man Graviton Surge, I believe. That was followed up by the Dragon Strike, but wasn't able to get anyone with it. Willy Boy came out with that big rally, armored all of them up, and they will win this fight again. It's going to be a full stand on point A, and Plat Patrol will take the win on Hanamura. Awaken Militia not able to get a tick or anything. In that final fight, Zazan had a huge Graviton Surge. It caught 5 people, I believe. That looked like it was going to be it for the side of Plat Patrol, and that Awaken Militia would be able to get that initial point. We're going to see the play of the game, of course, the huge Wombo combo that they have done perfectly all night. He drops the wave and waves goodbye to his enemies. Great play there in that Wombo combo, but in the end, it's still going to be the side of Plat Patrol coming out on top. They will go up 2-1 in the series so far. Kenobi, from the outside eyes, what did you think of that?
Galactic Dragon combo is a really, really good ultimate combo. I mean, I think the least kills that were on any Galactic Dragon combo in that game was 3. So when that thing's hitting, it's absolutely a menace and almost always a team wipe. So very scary kind of coming out with this Zarya Hanzo combo. And, speaking of Hanzo, Panda, Praise the Sun had a phenomenal game on Hanzo, even though it's, pretty easy to just, hit Q into that Zarya grab. There were some other things that he was doing on this Hanzo, he was just playing some straight up vanilla Hanzo. And, how do you, if you're the other team, how do you start to deal with that? Do you, say that, okay, well, the opposite Hanzo has to deal with it? Or do you say like, oh, we need to commit to full dive, just getting rid of Praise the Sun completely?
Well, I don't think that dive would be able to work, all things considering, too. I mean, Hanzo best works in an anti-dive scenario, but what Praise the Sun was doing well is using the lunge ability to clear gaps to team fights where he needed to be, using the lunge ability when you press spacebar as if it's a horizontal jump in the air, trademark after his cybernetic brother Genji as well. So, I mean, it's really easy to use that storm arrow to its full capability when you can just lunge back and forth in between team fights. And when you land a couple of storm arrows, whether they're criticals or not, really easy to fast charge a Dragon Strike. It was just a little bit of a indifference on that final attack there for Awakened Militia.
Yeah, and speaking of the indifference coming out from Awakened Militia, it looked like the Awakened Militia there, Elite, just maybe slightly too reliant on that combo. They were just waiting and waiting and waiting for that perfect moment. But it seemed like Plat Patrol were, they were ready for it. They were like, okay, we're just we're going to counter it with our own ultimates. Do you think that sometimes teams can get caught a little bit in the power of this ultimate graviton combo, and just do they think they need to reshake just a little bit and say like, okay, ultimates are good, but we might need to just change it up just a little bit because it's not working so far?
Well, they had all the makings for that final fight to go right for them. There was a huge graviton surge from Zazan, followed up by a big Dragon Strike. But like you talked about, the counter there with their own ultimate. Willy Boy had a big rally. They built up all that armor, and literally nobody died from that. Plat Patrol came out on top in that fight. So they completely negated the big Galactic Dragon Strike that we know is the very strong combo. So, but it has still worked out very well for Awaken Militia. They did get, obviously, full held there on that defensive on point A, but they have played very well. Praise the Sun has played well on Vanilla Hanzo in general, so maybe not switch up entirely. I don't think they need to panic. A full stand on point A is not, obviously, not something that they want to be proud about, but
yeah.
The big Hanzo Zarya ultimate has been very strong, and they both played very strong on those heroes in general. So I don't think there's a need to panic or anything and them to jump off and switch to anything else, but we will see what they decide to do.
And we are going to be going to King's Row as our next map, widely regarded as one of the best maps in Overwatch. Panda, why don't you tell us a little bit why this is such a popular map, between the pros and, people we see a lot of the times in Scrim nights with these notes. They always say, King's Row, King's Row, King's Row. It's our favorite map. Why don't you tell us a little bit why that is?
The versatility of King's Row's power level is well over 9,000. I mean, it calls for so many different aspects. There's full dive, there's a lot of high ground, and then when you reach inside that third part of King's Road, inside that factory-ish area, is where a lot of enclosed spacing can happen. Just as if you're on the first point as well, where Reinhardt is more profitable rather, but King's Row is just so covenant to most teams because of how many different compositions you can pull out.
Yeah, well, we'll see what these two teams' power levels are going to be, if Plat Patrol is going to take this to a 3-1, or if Awaken Militia can take this to a Game 5. Guys, have a good cast, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you very much, Kenobi. We will see if they're able to take this one. We will see a Game 5 anyway, just because it's exciting and we want to see a Game 5. But a legitimate Game 5 with a 2-2 will be very, very exciting if we can get that. And it's going to be the side of Awaken Militia on attack. Yes, it's going to be Awaken Militia on attack here on King's Row. As this one gets underway, this will be the first time we've seen them on attack first. They defended first both on the Assault and on the Escort maps. And we see 20 back on this Pharah. And I personally really like this pick. He has played incredibly on the Pharah. So we will see if he's able to keep up the magic that he's had throughout this night. We will see what the side of Plat Patrol will do to answer this. And as they rush right in here, no one gone yet. No one really taken out. 20's going to catch out Cole over here, and that's going to be the first pick. So with Cole gone, this should spell the beginning for Awaken Militia to come in and get this point, and we see the kill feed filling up in red for them.
I don't want to speak so ill about their lack of mobility anymore, because Golan has been stepping up to the plate on this main healer, Ana, thus far with Karo. But that's really where you run into the problem, right? I mean, the technical only hit scan on the team of Platts is going to be Colin when he's ADSing down the scope of Ana, and that's really not what you want to be facing 20 for Pharah, just landing tons of area and splash damage. Just leaves Praise the Sun to do what Praise the Sun has been doing all set long, and just landing tons of arrows, enabling everybody left and right. But it's not soon to mention that we have a Moira swapping over and a certain of a Slambulance rendition. But look how Jordan and now Willy Boy are gaining the upper hand elite.
Rally's going to come out from Willy Boy, and they're going to get pushed back. Plat Patrol will hold them off for the moment. They're going to keep up, pushing them all the way back. They burned the rally there from Willy Boy to take that fight, but that's still going to be a lot of armor ready for them. And as long as Defang Hoi Hoi can build up this Valkyrie, it'll be 6 ultimates ready, including, of course, the big Galactic Strike, the big Gravity Surge Dragon Strike combo that we've seen come out so perfectly from Zazan and Praise the Sun. We'll see if they can get a big one here. 20 is still on this far and has played very well, and we see ultimates coming out right now from that side. There's Praise the Sun bringing out the Dragon Strike, and he'll get that first kill with it. With Jordan gone with that big tank down, they'll keep pushing all of them. They're still pushing them back. Are the side of are the side of Awaken Militia. Plat Patrol gonna back up, and a Cole will get taken out as they're keeping this push on. The charge coming out from Andrew. He'll charge in and swing this hammer around. Still kills coming out, and a big fire strike will lock up the kill onto Willie. 20 still in here, chasing them all the way back. Good fight there from the side of Awaken Militia. 3 ultimates used. We'll see if they're able to hit this second checkpoint, or if the side of Plat Patrol will be able to make it back and set up a defense.
Yep, the coalescence from Mark just coming out and giving the rest of the Plats a good hosing down as they're just trying to waltz through, and that's going to be a waltzing into a Graviton Surge coming through, and the Dragon Strike will be following suit as well. Only we'll find one, but both tanks are dead for the side of Awaken Militia. So unable to keep the presence on the point, Elite, and where the payload is specifically, and wonderfully played, I gotta say again, to cut myself off, that Wei ended up using the Valkyrie ultimate, and they punished them for it. So now the ult bank will be in the favor for Plats, and they will have the McCree on their side to try to deal with 20 more effectively. And all of this is happening as I just give them the Caster's Curse and the entry frag again from Praise the Sun.
Yeah, as we see Praise the Sun with that initial pick, they know they're going to have a big numbers advantage. Willie Boy's going to pop that rally to get the extra armor, but the Dragon Strike's going to come across over the payload. It's going to catch out Jordan, so another tank gone. So with Jordan gone, as well as Caro was gone before this fight even began, the Coalescence come out, and they're going to keep pushing them all the way back. The Transcendence will come out from Caro just to push back in there. They're going to get the contest off of it, just a little over a meter left. Let's see if they can push them back off of this. In here, right on the payload is Senec trying to do what he can. They're holding them off at the moment, but 20 will get that kill. There's a big Earth Shatter from Jordan, though. Catches 3 people, but he didn't have much of a follow-up. It was only him and Senec. Still, though, this payload has not moved at just 1 meter, and in the end, it is going to be Plat Patrol coming out on top and holding them at the moment. 2 minutes left on Awaken Militia's attack. They got very, very close to that final checkpoint there, but we saw Caro burn the Transcendence and just run straight in onto the payload to contest it, and obviously they're able to hold them off. We'll see what the side of Awaken Militia can do. Still 2 minutes left on their attack, though, to hit this next checkpoint.
And Plat Patrol were happy to lose that team fight. Caro had to use the Transcendence to get to the point just to stall it, and that's wonderful. Zazan will have the Graviton Surge. Praise the Sun slowly behind on the Dragon Strike, maybe just an arrow or 2 behind it, but they need to get it up quickly before Caro is able to land a volley or 2 to get a Transcendence off again. They just have to make careful of Senec's Graviton Surge. And here it comes. Mark just swapped over to Zenyatta. Is not going to have a Transcendence to keep alive. There's a big Bionade in there, too. My goodness.
Big Biotic Grenade, which means nothing but purple health bars, which means easy kills for the side of Plat Patrol. Praise the Sun will get a kill there on the Willie Boy, but I don't know how much that's going to... He'll get a kill on a Banker, too. Praise the Sun trying to single-handedly turn this fight back into their favor. It's going to be a long walk back for Willie and Aimbot. Let's see if the side of Awaken Militia can capitalize off of the little questionable aggression that came out from the side of Plat Patrol, and those 2 players pushing up that far, getting kicked out. Let's see, they're on their way back. They might make it back, but still kills coming out. So the side of Awaken Militia following those 2 picks will keep this payload moving. There's the Transcendence again coming out from Carl, and Earthshatter's going to come out and catch pretty much everyone except him. They'll follow up on the big Earthshatter that came out from Andrew there. Banker here backing up as he sees the rest of his players fall. Dragon Strike's going to come across and might catch out Willie Boy. He'll get killed anyway by Zazan. They'll hit this next checkpoint. 2 minutes now on their attack for them to hit this third and final one. Awaken Militia strong play right now on their attack. They were held at that second checkpoint for just a little bit, which is, we see a lot of people stall out at the second checkpoint of these kind of escort maps. This is a hybrid one here, but they're keeping this one moving, and they're already about halfway towards this one. We'll see what kind of defense can come out. Here comes the Graviton Surge.
Graviton Surge is going to come out, and there's no Transcendence available for it, so that is easy cleave damage. Aloof will be nearing another Earth Shatter, and you almost got to remember, literally just used one to capitalize on the last point. Might as well do it again.
This is going to be the end right here. We'll see if anyone's able to make it in. There comes the big dash in from Jordan as he makes the switch over to Tracer, blinked in, but no one. It's only Caro in here now. No, Caro won't make it to contest it. They will take this one all the way on their attack. Will Awaken Militia, 3 points for them. So very strong attack from them, and they're going to have 105 left in their time bank. Not a ton of time, but better than nothing and better than not taking it all the way at all. So Plat Patrol will switch over to their attack. We'll see what they decide to come out with and how they will have to do, because they're going to have to take this one all the way to force another round.
Yeah, and definitely well said. Is in something to scout out is that Awaken Militia still have time. They almost got stalled out in overtime. 4-point B of the capture, and that's a really scary scenario to be in. But Loof really came strong, and like Foundation, kept his team together like glue around the shield and around the payload itself. Really good follow-up inside that Graviton Surge as well. Praise the Sun really wanted to be there for the follow-up as well. But, when you have a Reinhardt and a Transcendence is off-timed from Karo, it's pretty easy to pop off in those situations as Reinhardt.
Yeah, good play from Andrew. Good play from the Reinhardt player. Big Reinhardt player over on the side of Awaken Militia. Now over on the side of Plat Patrol, we will see what they decide to come out with on their attack. Willie Boy, 30 seconds left, and he's on attack, so of course he can switch at any second. He's on Doomfist right now. And, okay, well, I highly doubt he's going to be playing that. But he does have Doomfist listed as his preferred hero for us. So if he decides to come out with this, and I hope he does, because this will be very interesting. We don't see a lot of Doomfist in the Scrim Nights, and he has this listed as his preferred hero. He's considered the flex DPS. We'll see if this is what he decides to come out with. It's going to be a short 5 seconds, and oh no, he'll switch over to Brigitte. How sad.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. I mean, it was nice when we had that time where we only got to see the Doomfist Space Jam combo into the Graviton Surge, but we have moved past there. We have transcended sometimes, picking up another support isn't always a bad thing. Willie Boy would like to agree.
Yeah, he will. He's played pretty much exclusively Brigitte. Obviously, Brigitte, a strong pick, as we see that he'll actually get taken out, though. And more kills coming out from the side of Awaken Militia. They'll hold off this attack. Nothing but red in the kill feed right now. There goes aimbot banger. It's just Cole. He'll scurry on back. He's getting chased down by Praise the Sun, though. And they're calling for a pause on the side of Plat Patrol. No pauses come out. There it is. A pause will come out from the side of Plat Patrol. So we will see. We will let them work out whatever issues might be happening over on that side. But while we'll discuss a couple more things, that'll give us time to break down everything that we might have happened. And apparently it's internet issues over on the side of Plat Patrol. So that's fine. We'll let them work out whatever's going on over there. But that first initial attack, their first push was completely wiped out by the side of Awaken Militia. So over on the side of Plat Patrol, we see them still coming out. Willie Boy on this Brigitte. What do you think they're going to have to do to be able to take this one all the way and force another round?
Well, they need to find a way to shut down Aloof. I mean, Aloof likes these big charges, right, Elite? I mean, we see it time and time again, and you can see at the top right-hand part, I mean, on our screen, and maybe not yours right now, 96%. We are currently 45 seconds into King's Row defense here for Awaken Militia. And that's just fantastic tank play, again, coming out in between 20 and Zazan for Aloof on Reinhardt to get these big charges off. You got to find a way to stop this man from doing that, because it just creates way too much frontal pressure to where Praise the Sun can land arrows at will. And again, though it's not coming up at the flashy DPS highlighted kill feed of Final Blows, Mark is landing a lot of orbs of destruction off via his discords as well.
We'll get the unpause. We'll come back in. The Earth Shatter is completely blocked by both, I believe. So no big Earth Shatters, but it will be Praise the Sun locking up these kills. Praise the Sun has played very strong on Hanzo. Kara's down very low. He'll lock up that one as well as Azan. We'll get the final blow there. Good. Again, and a shot straight to Cole's face there by Praise the Sun. Again, Awaken will hold them off. Just over a minute gone on their attack, but that's 2 fights started and 2 fights lost by Plat Patrol. Big start for the side of Awaken Militia. Both Earth Shatters were used. I believe they were both completely blocked as well. Maybe one person got caught, but with Praise the Sun gone, as well as a big charge coming in with a nano boost on the Jordan, this could be the fight that Plat Patrol needs. Huge play from aimbot banker, and this will absolutely be point A for them.
Yep, excuse me, sorry, yeah, the Dragon Strike ended up coming through, following up on the nano boosted Jordan fire. My goodness, Cole really showing why Ana can still be a good relevant pick even on attack for King's Row. Nano boost still very effective. Damage resilience and damage boosting as well. So it's still pretty nice when you get down to its core fundamentals, I suppose.
So they will take this objective A. They'll get this payload moving. despite somewhat of a slow start. They lost a couple fights, but it was a big pick from Aimbot Baker on to Praise the Sun that set that one off to get that, and now they'll keep this one moving. Jordan has this. There's a Graviton Surge, and he has an Earth Shatter ready. Let's see if no, they're just going to go ahead and eat it. But only one person was gone as you saw the Transcendence came out. Praise the Sun still able to get 2, and they're still in here pushing them back. Our Awaken Militia right up here in their faces as they take out Aimbot Banker as well. It was the big Graviton Surge. Again, just the big combo that we've seen all night. Praise the Sun was able to catch 2 with it. Those were the only 2 ults used from the side of Awaken Militia there in that fight. Meanwhile, the only ultimate over on the side of Plat Patrol is the Graviton Surge. And the side, it looks like they're kind of just backing up and they're just going to set up for a new defense right over here at the second checkpoint. Are the side of Awaken Militia. I haven't really seen someone do that, to just step back and give all that up to set up at a new defense spot.
Well, they wanted to give the time for the rally for everybody to group as a 6 for the rally to come through infected, but all that armor is just going to go to waste behind the Galactic Dragon in between both coming out from Zank and Aimbot this time. But the armor really making a presence here, backed by the Huehue Valkyrie as well. And you can see this brawl going back and forth. It just comes down to Jordan going huge with his pin ability yet again to open up the floor for his team. And this surely will be the capture point for the Plats.
Yeah, they backed up. They backed up like that, like you said, to probably to, like you talked about, to get that rally. But that rally was completely eaten by the combo, which if they didn't have the rally, they would have just died straight away. But they used the rally and everything and still lost his second checkpoint. So they backed up and all that, tried to set up at a new spot, but they were still able to come in and get this. But now Praise the Sun, as we see this initial pick, this will be the numbers advantage for the side of Awaken Militia. They should be able to hold this one off. Jordan Free is actually going to get a nano boost. He'll come in here very strong. Reinhardt swinging his hammer around, but he'll hit a shield bash and get taken out as Praise the Sun locks up that one. And they'll keep pushing them back. The big Zarya of Zazan, big charged up, pushing them all the way back. Fire Strike comes through as well, and they will be pushed back. Will the side of Plat Patrol, they're on that first push since hitting this next checkpoint. But 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on their attack. They have a lot of time to take this one all the way and get all 3 of them and force another round.
Yeah, Awaken Militia didn't even have to use a single ultimate for that defense as well. Vanilla Overwatch at its finest, so they're going to have the Wombo combo of Zazan and Praise the Sun. If they do more damage in this combo than they did last time, here it comes. They're going to be able to outdamage the Transcendence, and it's going to be a Rhine Hammer in the middle of it. It will be enough damage to kill off at least a healer on the other end.
Zazan, they caught another big picture perfect Galactical Surge there, but it was a good Transcendence from Karo that negated all of that, and now they're coming out on top. There goes Zazan. They're moving this payload. Good Transcendence from Karo to negate that big combo that we've seen so perfectly used from the side of Awaken Militia. They'll be able to get out here and set up another fight, but they are taking this one very, very far. You hear the rally popped by 20 as they're about to start another fight. Still 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the attack, and they're going to come in here for another fight with Valkyrie popped as well.
Yep, just going to be setting them up wonderfully. And 20 with the re-entry here. With the the flail just does so much damage if you just don't deal with it accordingly, and all that area of healing, it just enables such an aggressive tank like Aloof to do the things that you see happening on your screen. Just wonderful play all across the board. So they will set up a sustaining defense yet again, shaving down just below 2 minutes of lead. With no ultimate to show coming into this next attack, this could be a dry push coming through here. Zazan nearing a Graviton Surge, Praise the Sun nearing a Dragon Strike as well. They will, they've been doing it all set long. Expect to see it again.
Yeah, and the only ultra, but kills very, very quick picks coming out from the side of Awaken will completely shut down that fight before it ever even got started. That's going to allow Plat Patrol to come back with ults on their side, but no ults used from the side of Awaken Militia. They won that last fight pretty much. They had the rally and the Valkyrie, but as we see, 20 already almost 3/4 of the way to having another rally ready, and he'll be able to build that up easily throughout another fight. but a lot of ultimates up on both sides. This is going to be fireworks of a fight, but it's a huge Earth Shatter from Andrew. It's going to be answered. No, there was no Transcendence brought out from Karo. There was an Earth Shatter as well as a Valkyrie used. There's the Transcendence. Might be a little bit late as parts of his team have fallen, but they're going to come right back in and go for a re-engage here. It's technically a 4v4 right now. 2 kills from both sides. There's the Graviton Surge, though, with the big Dragon Strike, and that will lock it up for the side of Awaken Militia there in that fight. So it was a huge Earth Shatter from Andrew that got a couple kills, and then a couple kills came out as well from the side of Plat Patrol. They tried to push back in and go for a re-engage, and they re-engaged right into a huge combo from the side of Awaken Militia.
And that's exactly what Awaken Militia needed to do. They needed to bait out Karo's Transcendence, which they did off of the Earth Shatter for free Graviton Galactic Dragon Strike. And now you can see on your screen, this is going to be side of Plat Patrol on their back foot. Graviton Surge is going to get stuffed by Mark, saving that Transcendence. Wonderfully played. The macro game coming out here in dire straits for the side of Awakened Militia to push in to earn themselves another team kill and to win King's Row.
They will take King's Row, which will make the series 2-2, which means we will see a legitimate tie-breaking game.
A legit map 5. A legit map 5.
I believe that's the first time that's the first time I've ever seen a legit map 5 in Scrim Nights. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll jump into a game 5 here momentarily. We're going to see a play the game coming out from a Zenyatta here, and it was the huge Transcendence to negate to negate that big combo. Great play from Karo. Great Transcendence negated that big combo that we saw coming out there. But in the end, it's still the side of Awaken Militia that came out on top, which they all died. The side of Plat Patrol. We saw Karo with that big Transcendence that negated that big combo. But in the end, it was still them losing to that combo at the end.
Woo, boy, man. You know, I love me a juicy Zenyatta Transcendence. 13.888 healing for that Zenyatta. Think about that. 13k healing for a Zenyatta. Those were fat Transcendence. Just very unfortunate that Karo was very pressured in the midst of that last 45 seconds to use the Transcendence at the ill-advised moment. Kenobi, you gotta feel for him at that moment, man. You gotta feel for him.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what's going on. I need to really just make sure whenever I come back, I look at my Discord and make sure I'm not muted. But
always,
you know, I'm the one who's feeling right now. I'm the one who's feeling right bad. Not Karo, it's me right now. But you know,
feeling it.
It is going to be a 2-2. So as you mentioned, Elite, legit game 5. Something I love to see those whenever I get to host that. And you know, speaking of ultimate usage there, as we saw, you know, it was really interesting to see how these two teams use their ultimates. And, you know, Elite, it seemed like at the end there, Awaken Militia just on point with all their ultimate combos. And I mean, even using some niche things to try and bait out, like Panda was mentioning. I mean, is that really sometimes what it comes down to? Is it just you're the one who's hitting Q a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, people could say, oh, wow, praise the Sonya, he pressed Q, how good is he? But like you asked before we started that one, you asked about Praise the Sun and Zazan and the Zarya Hanzo combo, and if they were relying on it too heavily. And obviously they decided not to switch up. Obviously it worked out great for them. We saw, like I said, we saw that one negated by Karo, had the Transcendence, negated that one perfectly. But in the end, it was still them losing to that big combo. They re-engaged the fight. They thought that they were going to have the advantage, and they re-engaged right into the big Wamo combo. So it's just they have just used that combo perfectly all night, and obviously worked out great for them there as they held them off, took the win there on King's Row. So Zazan, Praise the Sun, you know, pressing Q and all that, but it's you still have to have communication. You still have to know when you're going to do this and when this is going to happen. Zazan and Praise have just comboed perfectly all night.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of nuance, you know, when it comes to Alta. It's not just, you know, press Q and win, you know, sometimes there is some, you know, baiting out and some nuance to it. And, you know, Panda, we saw Colin go over to this Ana pick, and, you know, it did work. It seemed like it was working for a little bit there. Can you tell us anything about how it was working? Did you feel like it was the right pick? Did you feel like it wasn't working and maybe they should have switched to a Mercy sooner? What were your thoughts on that?
They had to invest a lot of their own personal cooldowns and own ability just to keep the Ana alive, which it can pay off. You know, again, that nano boost is fantastic, damage resilience and the damage boost as well that ultimate gives to a Reinhardt as well. Cleave hero damage already goes huge when you don't put up your shield and you just swing away. Yeah, it can be devastating, but I think a Mercy pick would probably be a little bit better. And the only reason why I would say that is because the Valkyrie chain healing in a certain situation when you're fighting on a payload and it's all sort of chaos, you don't have to rely on those skill shots of the Ana anymore. You can get that easy burst healing off to turn into damage boost as well. And that could really swing a team fight a little bit easier. But I like the Ana pick. I'm not gonna say either or.
All right, well, we'll see what the healers are gonna come out for this last map, this legit game 5. Guys, take it away to Lijiang Tower. I'm sure it'll be a great one.
Thank you very much for Kenobi. We will jump on to our legitimate game 5. 2-2. Sorry, for both sides, Lijiang Tower is what our game 5 map will be. I know Farah, Farah's very strong on this map. Not so much on this one. They talk about how she can only fly so high here. But 20 has played very, very strong on the Farah. I know that Farah does get played on Farah is just popular in general on King of the Hill maps, and Lijiang Tower is one that you'll see Farah a lot. But as we jump into this first one here on the marketplace, not super popular, but he does switch over to the Farah. Do you like the Farah here in this situation?
I think Farah could definitely work. We've seen that 20 did play Farah mostly all the way through Oasis as well, so it's something that definitely could come out, and will be coming out of the gates for it. Will be the upper hand, all things considering, as you can see on the side of the Plat Patrol, coming out with that triple-ish tank, and it's elongated rocket that finds the kill first.
20 and Praise the Sun both coming out. Praises chat back. Oh, we saw him play this back on the initial control. There goes Cynic getting off with only Willy Boy, and he's eating arrows and punches from 20. He will get taken out as well. Very, very strong start for Awaken Militia on their attack. They will take this point for themselves as this one gets underway. Great start for them. 20, we talked about coming out on that Farah, and we didn't know if he'd come out here on this initial map here on the marketplace, but 20, very strong start, 90% already, and Praise the Sun also made the switch back over to Tracer.
Yeah, and it's a good pick nevertheless. I mean, get that backline pressure. It's less that they are actually looking at the front line, and that's where 20 really wants you to be, is on your back foot. Not focus on him, but focus on a Tracer instead, so that way he can land a lot of good direct rockets. And you can see how much pressure that creates, so that way the dive can be even that much more immense. Having a fair barrage already and 30% on the board for Awaken Militia, already sitting pretty and forcing swaps to come across the board. Caro now on Mercy himself.
And 20, but a good pulse.
Wow.
Praise the Sun might just flip this one back into their favor. We see Rez's coming out and more kills coming out from the side of Plat Patrol. 20 is still flying high up above here and does still have this rocket barrage. He's going head to head with Jordan though, and there's a lot of people that are about to come in from Plat Patrol. Let's see if they run straight into a rocket barrage. He still has he had his friend Mark in there, and there goes 20 as well. And that is that. But the Primal Rage might be able to save this one. I was about to say that might be the point for them.
Oh, he gets
Cole off the map. Good Primal Rage out here from Andrew. He's still alive. They'll get pulled into a Graviton Surge, and the Primal Rage came in and held that point for a long time, which allowed them to build this one up even more, almost 75% for them. The point does flip over to Plat Patrol, but not before Alof jumped in with a big Primal Rage to build them a lot more percentage.
Yeah, Awaken Militia, really happy to take the end of that team fight. They got both the tank ultimates out of Senk and Jordan. Willie will have to use the rally for the sustainability, but 20 and Mark will still have the Far Mercy ultimates available, so a Farah Barrage and a Valkyrie over sustainability and excessive amount of area of effect damage coming out here. But speaking of damage, here comes a Deadeye, but it's gonna get stuck and shut down by Praise, going huge again on this Tracer pick.
Yeah, negate. It's completely negated there by the Pulse Bomb. Praise the Sun playing very well in this Tracer. We saw him play very well back on a first map of the night. And it's been a lot of Hanzo since then, but we see he's still making Tracer very strong in this meta. Very strong play. He's on fire right now. And now Jordan, the only man in there. There he goes. And he just used the Earth Shatter as he was dying. So Earth Shatter gone from Jordan. They'll flip the point back for themselves. Praise the Sun. Chasing them down into Cynic's face now. Sticking it with a Pulse Bomb. And Praise the Sun on fire right now.
Earning another Pulse Bomb after starting a Pulse Bomb, or starting a fight with the Pulse Bomb. You can see just dipping and diving, hearing the communication coming through from Aloof on who is low, who's getting hit by who with the tickle cannon, the shields down, easy stick, walk away. Cool kids don't look at their own explosions, Elite.
On fire, still is Praise the Sun. Oh, he will eat a stun and get taken out there by aimbot, but still, we're gonna go into overtime. This is gonna be it right here at the end, and it's pretty much Awaken coming out on top. As there goes Banker. There's a Graviton Surge that's gonna come out, but it's gonna pretty much be for naught. They're stuck in it, but they're stuck in it, and they're watching the overtime wick burn down. They will take round 1 and go up 1-0. We'll decide of Awaken Militia. Very strong play from them, and very, very high gameplay from Praise the Sun.
Yeah, Aloof has had very key Primal Rages there on that last one as well to shove aimbot all the way off the point. Aimbot, though, quite huge. Found the flashbang headshot on the Praise the Sun, then found the headshot onto 20 of Farah in the sky. But it was all for naught because he had 1,600 health accumulative in between Aloof and the Diva of Zazan on the point, still to deal with. And we know Primal Raging Winston already very hard to deal with on the get-go. I mean, when you add him and his tree hunking, swinging arms that were not made for hugging, pretty hard to deal with. But we're on a control center. This is Junkrat's playground. Willy Boy understands that. But 20 swapping over to the Brigitte. Probably gonna get stuffed. Willy Boy on Junkrat, good way to shut down shields.
Yeah, 20 swapping over in Willy Boy, like you said, making a swap over to Junkrat. I believe this might be the first time we've seen him on something besides Brigitte throughout the entire night. So this will be interesting as he comes out of the Junkrat. We saw the pick, but Andrew gets res back in. And Andrew will come back in and lock up a kill for his own as they take out Jordan, and it's going to be a very quick point capture already for Awaken Militia. They'll push them all the way back, and we'll see if they push right up here and set up at this tiny little choke point of a door like we've seen a lot of teams do after they cap the play for themselves.
There's no reason not to. You know, at this point, you want to force the enemy team of the Plat Patrol to try to use as many ultimates or cooldowns just to try to get through the choke. They're going to have the Dragon Strike just to try to do so. Nearing a Riptire does charge very quickly, but Praise the Sun and Zazan, they're nearing the Graviton Surge and Dragon Strike ultimate as well. So if played patiently, they're going to be able to go huge, but not when you lose so many picks upon entry. That Dragon Strike did way too much work.
Good Dragon Strike there from Banker. They should be able to flip this one, but Zazan coming in and get a couple of kills. He will get taken out, but not before he gets a couple kills as well as Praise the Sun. There's a good Transcendence from Mark. That's going to keep Praise the Sun alive in here to do what he can. They're still keeping this field. And then Earth Shatter. A lot of it got blocked. Praise the Sun was caught in it, but the Earth Shatter, a lot of it did get blocked, but they're still coming out on top. Are the side of Plat Patrol. They should be able to flip this one. The Valkyrie Mercy will fly around, eat some shots. No, he tried to come in and contest that one. Won't be able to. They'll flip it for themselves. Will Plat Patrol 55% for the side of Awaken Militia. And now that they have it, we'll see how they set up their defense.
And they use both their supporter ultimates. Awaken Militia, they use the Valkyrie at the end of that. They use the Transcendence to keep Praise the Sun up at the end of the team fight. Maybe a bit of miscommunication that Zazan and Praise the Sun were going to be able to come back with the Wombo combo, but look at that yet again. They're going to walk in here with the Wombo combo. Transcendence is going to come through, but there's just too much damage to follow up, and that is an easy flip right there, even after they lost a loop. Easy resurrection onto him, though.
Just like we've seen all night. Zazan lands it perfectly, praises the sun, presses Q. It's just been picture perfect all night. Great play from the side of Awaken Militia. They'll flip this one back for themselves. 70% left for them. Just a short 30% that they have to go to be able to lock this one up and take the win, take the 2-0 win and the 3-2 win in the series. They'll push back in, and Earth Shatter will get, most of it will get blocked, and they're going to be caught in a Graviton Surge and a combo coming out from the side of Plat Patrol as well. It's only Praise the Sun alive. He's going to jump in and try to contest this one to fill this one up as much as he can. He'll run into his death. It's okay. He had to get regroup. He had to back up. They were going to reset anyway. We'll get a replay of this big combo from the side of Plat Patrol. It's what we've seen all night from both teams, the big Galactic Surge.
And that's exactly what Plat needed. They wanted to resustain and reaffirm themselves on the point, and they said, anything you can do, we can do better, and they sang it even in that sense as well. But here we have Shades, and the shoe is on the other foot, Elite, as Praise the Sun shoots a Dragon Strike down the barreling choke center of Control Center, and they find themselves on the man advantage and an easy flip again. These teams are pushing each other to the bitter brink. 90% now for Awaken Militia.
Yeah, that was with no Graviton Surge, no big combo. They were all just grouped up in that tiny little choke point right there. Riptire is going to come out from Willy Boy. It's already taken Let's see, it's going to push in here around the point, and oh, it will be able to lock up Praise the Sun, but not before anyone is able to make it in. I was watching the Riptire, didn't even notice how close they were to locking that one up, but Awaken Militia takes the win 2-0 on Lijiang Tower, and they will take the 3-2 win in the series.
It's a reverse sweep at that, my friend. They were about under in the 2-1, and they just won the last 2 maps in a row. Going big, Praise the Sun, doing a lot of fantastic work, and that fantastic work highlighted behind that Galactic Dragon time and time again. Fantastic work coming across the board of the communication of Awaken Militia to stick tried and true and work well enough together to go the distance and win the series.
Awaken Militia takes the series win 3-2. Good play from them. Kenobi, what did you think?
I think that was one of the most fun games I've ever, or most fun series rather, I've had in. It was just a back and forth, great play from both teams. They should both be very proud with what they've done here. But it is going to be, as you mentioned, Awaken Militia taking this a 3-2. And man, Panda, it's interesting because on the map one at Night Market there, we saw dive coming out from Awaken Militia, and man, it looks really, really good. How did they manage to make it look so good against that, anti-divey combo that we saw coming out from Plat Patrol?
Well, Awaken Militia still sticking true. Maybe they heard what I was talking about in the pre-show. If you're still running that anti-dive Brigitte composition, right, there's still bound to be one individual from that team, a squishy, more or less at that will be out of position, right? Dive that target, whatever it is, unless it's a Brigitte, stay away from her.
Yeah,
stay away from her.
Yeah,
no, Winston,
yeah,
Winston, hear me out, bro. I'm sending my notes up to the moon. Stay away from Brigitte. Don't dive Brigitte. Other than that, it's you pretty much just have to punish the over optimism from the enemy team, right? They think that they have the upper hand. Take Hanamura, for example, when you're just sitting there as the attacking team, stacking ultimates left and right for just a point A attack. But just when they think they have the upper hand is when they fall flat in their face. And I believe that that's actually how was Plat City. Or Plat Patrol rather. They were able to gain the upper hand on Hanamura just like that.
Yeah, and it was pretty convincing there. I mean, Praise the Sun, and I think it was 20 going ham absolutely on that first map, and then we took it to City Center, and it was a little bit more close there. But the ultimate combos again, elite. They've just been so crisp and clean from Awaken Militia, compared to some of the ones we've seen from Plat Patrol. And it's interesting, how do teams deal with this, with this Graviton Surge combo, because it just seems like it's so good. And like, is there any way that teams should be trying to counterpick around it? We've seen like Zen is almost like a must pick against this now.
Yeah, and really the only way, there's not much of a way to counter this, just because the Graviton Surge is so strong and it has such a wide radius that can pull you in from. The only way really to counter it without picking a Zenyatta or something is to just scatter around so that way you don't get caught in it. But then how's a team fight even going to work for you? So yeah, it's like you said, the Zenyatta is pretty much a must pick because the big Transcendence pretty much just saves you from that. But we saw Karo had that big save, but in the end, the Transcendence isn't always up when that combo is. So if you get caught in that combo just once or twice, that could just spell the end for you. So there's not that. I don't know if there's a big clear answer at the moment, and if there is, obviously, I don't know if anyone's found it because definitely teams are still running it perfectly like we've seen Awaken Militia do.
Yeah, and so kids, work on your ult tracking. Make sure you understand when you have Transcendence has that Galactic Dragon combo, so it does not eat you. Talking to everyone in the audience right now. But that is going to be it for us today. That is Awaken Militia taking it as to a 3-2. This has been brought to you again by Broadcast.gg. We are a group of people who just want to help you on your journey with esports. I'm posting here. Panda and Elite, they both are casters here. They did a great job today. And we also have someone like Ark doing the producing, giving you those sick replays and those sick camera angles. So if you are interested in any of these positions or on anything else, you want to be an analyst or anything like that, please join the Discord. The banner is below. Make sure to check that out. Make sure to follow us all on Twitter. I believe it is Fatality2X for Elite here. Pokemon Panda for Panda, KenobiCast for me, and for Ark behind the curtain at ArkofCovenant. Make sure to also follow Broadcast.gg on Twitter as well. Any closing thoughts, guys?
Nothing from me. It was a great series. My first ever 3-2. Great play from Awaken Militia. Great play from Plat Patrol. Great games all around, and I was very happy to be here to cast them.
Yeah, no, I don't have many remarks other than just fantastic grit coming out from both these teams. Seeing dive still work against the anti-dive composition. Still interested to see how the chess game of this meta unpans.
Yeah, well, Awaken Militia has called King Me, and that is going to be it for us today. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Until then, GG's, and have a good one.